Hello curl friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. Today I am doing a one and done video where I take a look at a styler to see if it works as a single styler, all by itself, nothing paired with it. So I'm excited to be trying this one. We are going to be looking at the Camille Guava Slip Heavy on Hold Gel. Now Camille came out with a mousse at the same time that they came out with a gel, and I have already tried the mousse. I did that in a previous video. I'll show that. I used that one as a single styler too, but I didn't necessarily feature as a part of my one and done series. It was just like a newer product at that time, so that's how I feature it there. But let's dive into the specs of this product. This is the Camille Guava Slip Heavy on Hold Extreme Gel. The 12 ounce retails anywhere from $17.89 to $21.99. Heavy on hold is intense. This power-packed gel delivers lasting definition, strong hold for curls, coils, and sleek styles. It is infused with guava, vitamin-rich kakadu, plum, and natural humectants. It hydrates, strengthens, and helps to reduce frizz, leaving hair highly defined with a firm hold without the drying effects of typical gels. Gentle on color-treated hair, the results are worth it. The directions say, ensure hair is wet while using. Apply generous amount to freshly washed and conditioned hair, distributing gel evenly through sections from root to tip. Finger style as desired for perfect styles that last. Alright, so I have used this gel before. It is not a first impressions, but it is a very loose gel. If you guys can see that. I honestly, I bought these this year. I honestly don't remember it being quite that loose. I will have to look back at my notes, but there's no reason why it should have gone bad this fast. But it's a very loose gel. It probably was this consistency. I just try so many products, things kind of blur together sometimes. Okay, we are going in with 2 fingerful amounts, and this, like I said, is going to just kind of fall down my hands here if I'm not careful. I'm going to spill this all over. Whoa, it is going. Okay, no time to play around here. Let's see the tack of it. Not much tack, but it does feel nice and slippery. So let's just work on applying this all over my hair. I am going to brush style this in here as well, and I think I will probably go in with some extra at the end. That's how I've been liking to do things lately. Just get a little more in the back. I actually am going to go in with just a little bit more here. Okay, once again, I just stuck my fingers in. There's a little bit on the tip, but it's hard to see. So I get that back area. And I am going to make sure my hair is very wet as I brush style this in. I'm just going to add the water right away before I even distribute the product with my Tangle Teezer brush. And then I will, like I said, brush style it, and I will be using I'll be using my bounce curl brush at that point. So far, there's no problem with slip going through my hair. I didn't expect there to be. I didn't remember there being a problem with slip when I've used it before in the past. Just trying to lift some of these layers and get it all over. Do it on the other side because I didn't do it over here initially. Okay, so I've gone ahead and kind of fast forward me brush styling through most of the sections. I didn't show the back section because I have to scooch forward on my chair. But so far, I've not had any issues with the brush styling. I don't feel like there's any extra drag with this gel in my hair and the brush going through, because this is a more of a high tension brush. But there's not been any extra tugging. Very smooth. So I do think that this is a good gel to brush through if you want to. And I believe I did do that before in the past. I accidentally threw away my notes that I had on this using this gel because I had made notes using the gel and the mousse. when I was originally testing them out. But yeah, I accidentally threw those notes away. But so far the brush styling process has been nice. And one thing I noticed too, I went through each section, I don't always show this, but I went through each section and added water before brush styling, and my hair retained like the moisture. It retained the water with this product in it very well. That is not always the case with some products. Sometimes I feel like I need to keep going in with more water and more water, you know, like before you brush style and even after when you're scrunching. But my hair has felt very, very wet, very moisturized. So when I go in with more product, because that's what I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do, I will probably micro plop a little bit of this out. All right, so clearly I've changed positions here, and I'm just trying to make sure all my hair is pulled forward. I'm going to give my hair a little bit of a scrunch here in this position. You know what? I'm debating whether I need to micro plop. I kind of don't think I need to micro plop anymore. Like as I was scrunching initially when I was right side up after I finished each section, like I had a ton of water, it felt like, in my hair. But now it feels like it's in a pretty good state. Okay, let's go in with just a little bit more product though. I dipped these two fingers in, so it's on both sides of it. And I don't know if I'm going to end up using all of this product or not. I lift my layers here. Okay, I do have a little bit more product on my hands. I am going to take a paper towel and just wipe that off. And then I'm going to scrunch. I'm just going to do a lot of scrunching here on either side, and then I'm going to put it in my wet plop. Alright, now I have my wet plop on. I'm going to let this sit on for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'll diffuse my hair and I'll come back and show you my results. Alright my friends, we are back with my hair fully diffused and styled, and let's take a look at these results here. And the underside, we will definitely go over my thoughts after I show kind of like a full 360. Or at least 180. I'll show you the back end. Overall, I generally like my results. My hair is well defined. My curl pattern is not as tight as it is sometimes. I don't know. This summer so far, from what I noticed, it's still in June, so it's still early in summer, but my curl pattern just hasn't been as tight, and I've done a protein treatment, things like that. I've clarified, or I've chelated, I should say, chelated and clarified. But for some reason, my curl pattern just isn't being as tight. So I don't know if that's just a change in like hormones, you know, changing with age and things like that, or if it's something else. I'm not really sure. But this is pretty much what I remember getting the first time, these results. Like I said, I have good definition. There is very, very minimal frizz throughout. I was trying to give you a close-up of the top, like halo frizz wise, and also like the underneath. Very minimal. Now that does make my hair look maybe not quite as thick and full as it does sometimes when you have that functional frizz, but I really don't mind this. I enjoy this. I vary between, like, you know, what I prefer one day over the other, but I do like this, especially for like a summertime look. I do feel like my curls are very well controlled. I do feel like there's good hold. As I was diffusing my hair, I did notice a cast throughout most of the diffusing process. At the very end, as things were drying up more, the cast did pretty much break away and everything like that. My hair felt much more soft. I will say also, as I was getting ready, I had the shirt on initially, and then I always change it to like a little white cami and everything when I put my robe on. But as I was getting ready initially, I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this, because clearly you guys can't see it at this point, but I had some stuff on my poison sumac arm here that was trying to like heal it so it wouldn't scar, and I got it on my shirt here. I'm really disappointed. I got really badly, let me show you, stand up here. I got really badly down there. So yeah, I'm a little bitter about that, but we'll take care of it after this video. I could have washed it beforehand, like, or in between while my hair is drying and everything like that, but it would have taken more time between when I could finish this video, so we're just going with it, you know? But where was I about the hair after that little interjection there. I talked about the definition. I talked about any frizz or lack thereof of frizz, which I do appreciate. I also talked about the hold of my hair. Now, as far as the volume, it's not flat, but it's not exactly tons of volume. I did get some face framing pieces cut, and I'm gonna cut a little too short. And so that was just one of those things that's gonna have to grow out. So that does give a little bit more volume than what I would have had like, you know, a week or so ago without these face framing pieces, just in this front part here. But throughout the rest of my hair, I just feel like I said, it's not flat. It's just not a ton of actual body to my hair or anything. Now, as far as the moisture of my hair, it feels good for me, especially in the summertime. Actually, when I tried this initially, it was in March, I think, and my hair still felt good at that point. But I don't see a problem with the moisture for the winter or the summertime, personally, for my fine curly hair. I think a lot of people with a softer finish don't need to worry about the moisture with this product. The one drawback that I have to this product is the consistency. It's not easy to work with. And I did make a mess the last time I went in with a little bit more product when I was flipped upside down. I had to clean up my little tray here that I have. But I do wish this product was like in a pump style container, you know, like a bottle with a pump. I just feel like that would be much better design. I don't have anything against jars. Some people really don't like jars. I personally don't have anything against using a jar. I don't have anything against using a squeeze tube. I don't have anything against using a pump, except for sometimes pumps, you know, you can't get to the last little bit of product. You just need to like tip it upside down. But generally here, I think a pump is necessary. I'm going to continue to wear this hair as I go about my day, and I am going to check back tomorrow morning. I do have a very early morning where I have to be somewhere, so it will be a little less than 24 hours, but still we'll put this hair through the test and just see how it holds up, and I will give you my final thoughts at that point. Okay, curl friends, we are back for day 2 hair using the Camille Rose, the Guava Slip Gel. And let's take a look at these results. I will say I did put this hair through the test a little bit. I did sit outside in the wind and everything like that for a couple hours. So, I mean, it wasn't extremely hot and humid, but it did have the wind to contend with. So that's something at least. Let me show you the back of my hair. All right, so for the details of my hair, I still have really good definition. There may be a little bit more frizz that I'm seeing kind of throughout, but really not much, not a ton at all. So very little frizz development. My hair still looks and feels lightweight. It is more of a, I don't want to say stringy look, but it is more of a much more defined, almost more of a, for lack of a better way of describing this, almost more of a shellacked look. That's going to probably come across wrong to some of you, but I think it has to do with the shine and the definition like combined and everything like that. It just kind of gives like almost like this perfect type of curl look to it in a sense, but my curls are not perfect, not by any means. Like I said before, this is not my tightest curl pattern. This area right in here, just, I don't know, looks a little lackluster, but I do think that my curls have sprung up some since yesterday. I do think the curls have shrunk just a little bit. Like I said, it's still not my tightest curl pattern, but I feel like I actually like today's curls better than yesterday's. And that happens sometimes, so I'm not surprised by it really. The moisture on my hair still feels good. Now, it's not really like a super moisturizing gel. While my hair still feels good, my hair doesn't need a lot of moisture, especially in the summertime. So just keep that in mind. But for my personal hair needs, I do think that the moisture is going to hold up fine through like till I wash it again, which will probably be about another 3 days. My volume is still decent. Like I didn't have like loads of volume before, but it's the same. Like it hasn't fallen, I don't feel like, and it's not grown necessarily. For volume to grow for me from day 1 into day 2 though is like a very rare occasion, and that's usually because like I have the unwanted style of frizz. So that's not the case today. My volume has just maintained, I feel like, and overall, as I said, I'm really enjoying these curls. Now, who do I think that this gel might work best for? I think it could work best for a variety of people, a variety of hair types. By the way, if you hear any noises off to the side here, is because my dog is eating. His food dish is just like right around the corner. But who do I think that this gel would work best for? As I said, I think it could work best for a variety of hair types, or I think it could work well for a variety of hair types. I think finer hair curlies can get away with it as a one and done styler. And since this is part of the one and done series, I do think, like I said, I should start off with that. The people who can get away with this as a single styler would probably be finer hair curlies, but not super low density, because like I said, this almost gives like a shellacked look to your curls. It's not going to like add fullness. It's not going to add volume and basically fullness to your hair. So if you have very low density curls, this might not be the thing for you. Medium to higher density and fine curls can probably get away with it. And perhaps maybe even a medium textured hair. You might find that the moisture will be okay for you. You might not. You might need a little bit more moisture. I'm not sure, but you can try it as a one and done. Those with more coarse hair, those with a rougher finished hair are probably going to need to pair this with something else. I don't think it's going to have enough moisture for you. The hold, I think, should work pretty well for anyone. I still have loads of hold. Like I said, I was out in the wind and this hair has held up pretty good. The curls have not really stretched out. As a matter of fact, as I said, that I feel like they have shrunken up since the previous day. And there is not too many wonky curl bits. Just like I said, this front area, I feel like not really sure if I got too much or too little there. Probably too much. I'm going to lean on the too much side, as far as I mean like too much product. Now, like I said, those of you with more medium to coarse hair, those with rougher finish might need to layer this with something else that will cut down on the hold generally, but it may help provide the moisture that you need. And still, like I said, this hold is pretty good. If you feel like you need something else, some more hold to this, maybe try layering it with a hairspray. So for me, the Camille Rose Guava Slip Gel is a one and done approved styler. Pretty much like the mousse is. I can get away with using the mousse as a single styler as well. So let me know what you thought of this in the comments down below. Are you guys interested in this product? Either pairing it with something else or trying it as a one and done styler as I did today? Let me know what your thoughts are. And until I see you again in the next video, have a wonderful day. Bye.